One of the things that's happened with the preparation and the work that's gone on here is the assistance and encouragement of different ministries and different agencies in the government as well, including the Trade and Enterprise, as well as the Foundation for Research, Science and Technology. And Mako has benefited from that success and that support. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome me in introducing the Honorable John Key. Thank you.
Doug, thanks very much. Bill, it's great to be here, Murray. It's always good to see you as a former employee of Deloitte. I think someone's left their wallet here, which is excellent news for me. It's exciting actually to be here with a group of individuals who are focused on where the economy is going and on building technology and capability and economic growth in New Zealand. I say that because I've just come from the Viaduct, where there are about a similar number of people drinking before they head off to the AC/DC concert tonight, and they are not focused on productivity, where the economy's going or anything else. Look, when I look at Mako, I get very excited about companies like Mako because, in my view, New Zealand has some real strategic advantages. And one of them is what you're experiencing right at the moment, which is we're a great country to live in, we've got fantastic weather, we're a place that can attract people from around the world, and that means brain power. And the exciting thing I think about the internet is that it's going to liberalise New Zealand and liberate New Zealand in terms of our capacity to sell goods and services to the world. That first happened when we invented refrigeration, and now we've moved on. We're starting to sell services and products around the world which are weightless and are not affected by the fact that we are fundamentally the last bus stop on the planet. And that's what Mako is all about. It's about having intelligent people creating great solutions for a world-class product they're going to sell to customers all around the world. And when it comes to security, then I think you're in absolutely good shape. If you're going to protect people from their credit cards, I think that's even better. Why do I think that? Because my 16-year-old daughter was in London a couple of weeks ago visiting my sister, so you can imagine what they're like just eating each other on. I was looking after Prince William, and in between all this I got this text message from my daughter who said, good on you, while you're looking after Princey, I'm looking after the cash registers at Harrods. So I don't know whether you can provide any protection against that, but that would be most useful if you could. But technology is going to develop New Zealand in a way that we've never seen before. It's one of the reasons why as a government we're extremely focused on building out our ultra-fast broadband, spending $1.5 billion building a high-speed network that can service New Zealand and attach us to the rest of the world. And if we don't have that, then we can't compete. And it's going to be a big factor for New Zealand. Second thing I just want to briefly mention, as Bill mentioned, is R&D. Basically next Tuesday in Parliament we have the opening of Parliament, so we're back at the sort of madhouse. And it starts with me giving a speech which is an overview with the Prime Minister's statement to Parliament, but I'm going to use it as an overview for where we want to take the economy. So we'll be talking about lots of things from tax right through to R&D, but one of the big themes for this year is how we build innovation and science and research and development into our economy, and how we fundamentally leverage both our CRIs, our universities, the private sector institutes, and what actually happens in companies. And in the end, if we don't do that, then we're in sort of serious trouble. I went to Japan last year for the bilateral with Prime Minister Hatayama when he first got sworn into office. And it's interesting, if you know much about Japan, they've been struggling with an overvalued exchange rate for a hell of a long time now. One could argue our exchange rate's a little high as well, weakness of the US dollar, as I'm sure Doug will tell you, is what's causing that issue. But anyway, we were there, and I was asking the Tokyo Chamber of Commerce and the Osaka Chamber of Commerce and the chairman of Toyota and a whole bunch of other people, tell me about your R&D tax credits. And the reason I asked that question is Japan spends 3 times what New Zealand spends on R&D. And all of the people I met said, haven't got a clue. So I said, oh, okay. So then I started asking about the exchange rate. They said, nah, I don't really know too much about that. Then I moved on to China. Well, aren't you worried about being killed by China? No, not really. So eventually when you started asking people a few more in-detail questions, what came back was this. They said, look, the bottom line for Japan is we don't really compete with China. We either own the manufacturing in China, which is relatively low value, but our big concern is Taiwan and Korea. They're the people that are killing us. You know, Samsung's all of a sudden delivering a TV which is as good, if not better, than a Sony and cheaper. And I think that's the issue for New Zealand. New Zealand's never going to compete on price. We just don't want to compete with people that get paid a bowl of rice a day. We have to sell products which are world class, which allow us to compete. And you can't do that without science and innovation. You can't do it without niches in the world. And you can't do it unless you are going where the world is going. And that is the internet and those full services that run over the internet. And from the government's point of view, I can tell you that one of the big tragedies over the last 10 years was we didn't invest in my view, in nearly enough technology in government. Every time we had a problem, we threw people at the issue. But you can't leverage up a beast the size of government unless you have good technology. And we're going to have to end up spending the next decade actually building really good technology that allows us to grow and connect with New Zealanders who want to deal with us online efficiently and in the speed which they're accustomed to. So I'm very optimistic about what's happening in the IT space. The more companies we get like this, the more they can feed off one another, the more our universities will continue to produce people who are world class that can feed into it. So you obviously have our full support, and I want to wish you all the very best. I sort of feel at home with a company named after a shark because I work with a bunch of them. So, you know, in that regard, I don't feel out of water here to get into those fish type expressions. But anyway, have a great time. We'll be looking to come back and see how you're going. But I have absolutely no doubt that Mako is going to grow ever larger, like they do as sharks in the ocean. Thanks very much.